Friends, welcome to this new concept. This is about, we'll be learning today what are the drivers of foreign exchange rate. Earlier, some of you were asking this particular question also. What are the reasons of movement of this foreign exchange? We'll try to understand this concept. In fact, there are a lot of reasons, lot of factors which acts as drivers of foreign exchange movements. We'll try to understand one. First of all, we need to have an idea that what is the exchange rate as of now. To understand that thing, let us visit to RBI website first of all. Let us understand what is the rate as of now. Then we'll see how exchange rate moves. So let me take you to Reserve Bank of India's website first of all. Just wait a minute for that. Now you already know this foreign exchange rates that keeps on changing. Yes or no? Do you think that keeps on changing or they're quite stable? Do they
No,
move?
sir, it keeps on.
It keeps on
Yes,
changing.
sir.
It keeps on changing quite frequently also. Is it not?
Yes.
Yeah. So to understand that thing, first let us see. I am taking you, as you can see, this is the Google browser page I am showing you, Google home page. I am taking you this website. You have already visited here earlier also. What is the website address? Can you read it out? Some of you.
RBI.org.
Yes, fantastic. If you
www.rbi.org.in.
click here, you can find out. You see, this is the home page of Reserve Bank of India. And the home page itself, you can find so many data are available. Okay, you can see the historical statistics also, many things. But right now we are interested in this particular link. Can you see this link here? What is written here?
Yes, sir. Exchange rate.
Exchange rate. So let us learn. So to understand this exchange rate, so we are going to this link site. Okay, historical exchange rate also archives are there. Suppose you want to know what is the movement of exchange rate on a particular period, then you can go here archives. But I am interested in know the current rate. Okay, therefore I am clicking here. If I click here, you see one connected sites will be open. Okay, now you see. This is you see money market interest rates are available. Foreign exchange rates are available, fixed income securities are available, derivatives data are available. Okay, but we are interested right now in foreign exchange. Is it not? So let us go to the foreign exchange. So you can find it out. So latest date available is 11 June, 10 June, 11 June. You can find it out here. This is the rate. You can have some broad idea. You already know when it is written rupee by dollar. That means what? Which currency is bought and sold for which currency?
Dollar is bought and sold for Indian rupees.
Indian rupees. So $1 is equal to 72.9844. You see up to normally up to 4 digits beyond decimal point is explained. You know all these things in our rules, is it not? So $1 is equal to 72.98 Indian rupees. Similarly, what is the rate of Great Britain pound? GBP?
103.507.
Good. What is the rate of euro? 1 euro?
88.9831.
Good. And what is the rate of this concept also? You know, I had told you earlier, Japanese yen is always expressed in which term? For how many units?
100.
100 units. Okay, 100 units you see. What is the rate for 100 units of Japanese yen? How much Indian rupees you have to pay?
66.7.
Yeah, 66.7 Indian rupees for 100 Japanese yen. Okay, this is the rate of 11 June. Now you have seen 4 currencies. I told you the one is US dollar, second is Great Britain pound, second is euro, third is Japanese yen. And you see these 4 currencies taken together are called as the major currency because these are the currency which dominate the international market. Okay, fine. Okay, got some idea. And these exchange rates are not constant. Exchange rate keeps on changing. Okay, now friends, I'll be uh, taking you to our slides. Now you see. So far, we have already understood when coming to foreign exchange, we have understood the concept of home currency and foreign currency. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to distinguish which one is home currency, which one is foreign currency? Yes. Okay. Will you be able to distinguish between direct quote and indirect quote?
Yes,
Tell me.
sir.
Okay. Who can tell me what is direct quote, what is indirect quote?
Sir, direct current currency for a particular country is it can be expressed in terms of home currency by foreign currency.
Home currency by foreign currency. The quotes I was showing you right now from this RBI website, that was what kind of quote? It was direct quote or indirect quote?
Direct quote for our country, India.
And indirect quote for
Respective foreign
respective
respective
countries, maybe indirect quote for US, indirect quote for Japan, indirect quote for UK, like this. And you also know what is European term and what is American term. Can anyone tell me what is European term, what is American term?
sir, all the direct quote for American or USA countries are the American terms, and
Okay.
all the indirect for I think these are European. Indirect for America, these are all European.
Okay, if it is an indirect quote for American, that is an European quote. So non-American direct quotes are European. Cross rates you already also know. Cross rate means some other currencies are involved. Okay, your home currency is not involved, but you need a straight rate means your home currency is involved. Bid rate and ask rate means, who can tell me what is bid rate, what is ask rate?
So buying rate by a banker, as it is written here.
Okay, and what is ask rate?
So selling rate
Well,
for a
good.
banker.
And what is spot rate? What is forward rate?
Spot rate. So the rate which is prevail in the particular period of time, and forward rate is a rate for a certain future period of time.
Future period time, maybe 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. Spot rate is the rate as of today. So these are the various kinds of quotes or various kinds of rates we understand. And understanding these concepts are important, then only you will be able to really appreciate a quote and will be able to convert the quote to a different quote which we design. Okay. Now I'm showing you this is the movement of US dollar value for unit of rupees in 1 year. In 1 year time period, you see how it is moving, how the price has moved. Okay. Over a period of 1 year, let us say from July last year to up to, if you take, so overall trend, what you are saying, over 1 year, the value has come down. What do you observe? What is the overall trend you are watching?
Yes, sir. It has come down from 75.84 to around 70.
And this is from 19th June 2022, 19th June 2021. If I'm watching the data, it shows this is the movement of dollar. You see, sometimes it goes up, sometimes it comes down, but you can broadly have an idea that it stays in a particular range. It stays in a particular range, and we have to observe whether this particular movement zone is comfortable with us. We are comfortable with this zone or not. Okay, you can see this. Let us say this is the 1 year movement if I am comparing. So let me take a shorter period. Let me show you right now for one, yeah, maybe for 1 month data will compare from May. 1 month means from May to June I am comparing. But in 1 month, if you are saying an increasing trend, is it done? something is 72 becomes 74. Now imagine, suppose an exporter was supposed to receive some money, he was expecting 72 lakh, but he will be getting 74 lakh. You will be happy or not? He will be happy or not? Yes, you are an exporter, suppose, and you have exported, right? And you had expected that you will be receiving 72 lakhs in Indian rupees. That is $1 lakh you are supposed to receive. But when you realizing you are getting 74 lakhs, will you not be happy? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you'll be happy. But you'll be happy, but an importer may be unhappy in this kind of situation. Is it not? Importer may be unhappy in this kind of situation. Okay. Okay. So it depends that what kind of business you're doing it, what kind of company you are. Let us say Infosys may be happy, Indian Oil will be unhappy. Okay, importers will be unhappy, exporters will be happy. That is the kind of situation. Okay, now let us say, now let me take you to another shorter period movements. Let us say for 1 week, a specific week, I'm saying you 12 June to 19 June. You see, in this particular week, there is a substantial change. Is it not? Almost from 73 to 74. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So 1 week moment you see how exchange rate keeps on changing. Oh, in a year you have seen how it has changed. In a month you have seen now. In a week, if you are seeing there are changes, and it's also change is also substantial, not a small change. Okay, so please observe the change. Okay, first let us try to understand what is that change. Then you will be seeing what are the drivers of this change. Why exchange rate is changing like this. If a particular moment you are finding there is substantial change, we should be able to find out what is the reason why this change has happened during this period. Okay, 1 week data is over. Now from 1 week, I'm taking it to for another let's lesser period. Let's say shorter period. Let's say for 1 day. Let us say this is the for 1 day. Are you watching it? On 19th June itself, you can see the price has changed like this. Okay, so
Yes.
74 it becomes 72. Then it became again something between 74.10. Are you seeing it? It is for 1 day, during 1 day.
Yes.
Okay. I'm taking you to further shorter period. You see, moments are there. From 1 day, I'm taking it, I'm showing it the moment in 12 hours.
Oh,
There also you are seeing substantial changes. Now you have observed so many changes are happening in the exchange rate, and if you are doing international business, then you have to face these changes. Of course, there are certain ways, there are certain methods of protecting yourself from these changes, from this fluctuation. Fluctuation means risk. Okay, and that is inbuilt in every international business. If you're talking about international business, that means we should be ready to absorb, we should be ready to take that kind of risk. Okay, and risk is there means return is also there. Is it not? And the exact methods of learning how to manage this kind of risk, all these things you'll be learning in your different paper, which is international finance. Some other things, you'll be technical things you'll be learning there, all these theories. But here, when you are learning international business and we are trying to understand the international payments, then we have to understand that these are the changes. And for doing business, we need to understand what are the possible reasons for this thing. Okay, so if you are able to understand that reasons, then it will be easier for us to do or to venture into international business. Okay, otherwise our receivable may be different. What we're expecting, actual receipt might be different, and what we're expecting to spend, that money will be different. Our inflow, outflow, everything will be affected because of this kind of fluctuations. Okay, so let us try to find out certain reasons. One more concept before that I will be telling you. You see, many times exchange rates are expressed like this. We need to understand when exchange rates are expressed in a cross rate style. Okay, when you can find out exchange rates are like this, what does it mean? You see, if you see diagonally, you see here certain currencies are there, is it not? US dollar, Great Britain pound, Canadian dollar, euro, Australian dollar. You see same thing are appearing here. US dollar, Great Britain pound, Canadian dollar, euro, then Australian dollar. If you see diagonally, it is always 111. That means one US dollar is equal to one US dollar. One GBP is equal to one GBP. One Canadian dollar is equal to one Canadian dollar. Is it not? 1 euro is equal to 1 euro. 1 Australian dollar is equal to 1 Australian dollar. Okay. But if you see, if you compare GBP, what is the relationship between Great Britain pound and US dollar, you have to understand, okay, that 72, sorry, 0.72443 GBP is equal to 1 US dollar. So this much of GBP is equal to 1 US dollar. This much of Canadian dollar is equal to 1 US dollar. This much of euro is equal to 1 US dollar. Okay, this much of Australian dollar, that's 1.33683 Australian dollar is equal to 1 US dollar. Or if it write here Indian rupees, maybe 72 Indian rupees is equal to 1 US dollar. Okay, this is how we can understand the codes. Okay, suppose you want to know what is the rate for European, what is the rate between euro and Canadian dollar? Can you tell me what is the rate between euro and Canadian dollar? Who can find it out?
Zero 0.67618.
That means which currency by which currency?
It is euro by Canadian dollar.
0 by Canadian dollar. Yes, right. 1 Canadian dollar is equal to 0.67618. Okay. You see, these are the rates which are available. But let us say you don't know what is the rate for Indian rupees. Then what you will do? Let us say you don't know what is the Canadian dollar rate for Indian rupees. Can you find it out? Indian rupees rates are not there. What you will do?
So first we convert it into the most preferable, that is dollar. That is
Yeah. So Indian
1.247.
rupee versus dollar is available with you, and dollar versus Canadian dollar is also available to you. So by using the formulas that you have learned earlier in our previous classes, so we can find it out. Okay, so you can say rupee by US dollar is equal to 72. Is it not? Then
Yes, sir.
you can find it out. Canadian dollar by US dollar is equal to 1.24670. Then you can find out what is the rupee by Canadian dollar. Can you find it out or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that is what you can find it out. If A by B is given to you, B by C is given to you, you can find out A by C. Okay, by cross multiplying. By cross multiplying. So this is how we can understand the course. Now coming to exact regions, as I told you, there are many regions are there, but these are, you can say, more close relations. You can the direct regions you can find out. So you see, there are 9 regions which are, you can see, the major regions. There might be many more regions beyond that. First region, can you read it? What is the number 1?
International trade.
International trade that affects exchange rate fluctuation. Second,
Speculation.
third,
Balance of payment.
fourth,
Intervention by central bank. Then
fifth,
economic fundamentals.
okay, sixth,
Political stability.
okay,
Trade parity.
okay,
Inflation rate and self-fulfilling prophecy.
profession. So these are the reasons which affect the exchange rate. One by one, let us discuss this. Oh, these are basically totally theoretical things. Right, you already know when we talk about foreign exchange in the context of international business, foreign exchange itself is a commodity. That means the foreign exchange are bought and sold. It's a market where the foreign exchange are bought and sold as a commodity. Is it not? So dollars are bought and sold, pounds are bought and sold, euros are bought and sold. So we buy all these things to do our business. Okay, we buy this thing, we sell this to do our business. Okay, so primary factor which affects their rates. So in any market, you see how rates are managed or rates are decided. Let us say if you go to a vegetable market, how potato rates are decided. You will definitely find it is decided largely by two factors. One is the demand and the supply. These two forces decide the price. Is it? You go to fish market. Let us say sometimes prices goes up, sometimes price goes down. It depends upon how many people are demanding that thing and how many people are there to supply that. So these two are, you can say, the major factors which decides the various rates. Okay, and the changes in these two forces, let us say demand forces increases, then naturally price will go up. Supply forces increases, then naturally price will go down. Exactly same thing happens in any foreign exchange rate. If you want to study the rate of any foreign exchange, that fluctuation also happens because of demand and supply. And the demand and supply is indirectly related to international trade. The currency will be demanded when, okay, let us say rupee will be on demand. When people would like to buy something from India, that means when India will become an exporter, when India will become an exporter, there will be international demand for Indian rupees. Then people will love to buy that thing. People will buy Indian currency to pay the bill. Is it not? Okay. If
Yes.
India becomes exporter, India becomes exports less, then we have to buy other countries' currencies. So their demand will go up. So like this, different currencies demand and supply increases and decreases. They fluctuates because they're directly related to international trade. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That means currency rate fluctuations are related to import and export of goods and services. Okay. If I export more, my currency value will definitely increase. And if I import more, my currency rate will definitely go down. Understood the reason?
Yes, sir.
Because I'm importer. So I have to buy, let us say I'm importing from Australia. Then I have to settle the bill with Australian dollar. So I have to buy Australian dollar. So it will create a buying pressure on Australian dollar. It will create more demand. So prices will go up. You see that? So that is the prime reason you can say. Second reason is the speculation. Speculation means, you see, many people try to use the opportunities which are available in the market due to, let's say, price imperfections, or because they feel something. They feel that the prices of this thing will go off, and they want to take advantages of that thing. So if you feel, let us say, if you feel that the price of dollar will go off, then you may like to buy some dollar and park it. When prices goes up, you may sell it. There may not be actually any requirement of dollar for you, but still you are participating in the market because you feel prices will go up and you are acquiring that asset. So there are many people, you can say, the market is dominated by speculators. Forex market is dominated by speculators. So it is the speculators who try to find out opportunities from this market. And to use that opportunity, they buy currency, they sell currency. When they buy currency, they sell currencies, they create a kind of artificial demand and artificial supply in the market. Is it not? And this demand and supply is directly linked to the currency price. So because of this demand and because of this supply, currency price gets affected. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so market is, you can say, market is dominated by speculators. But that does not mean that speculator is always bad. Sometimes speculation has some stabilizing effect also. Speculation sometimes brings the currency rate uh, or makes the currency rate more stable. If it is bringing some stabilizing effect, then it's good for international trade and commerce. People have more confidence on the trade, international trade. But if it is having some destabilizing effect, it is disturbing the market, then that is bad. So you have to understand that thing in mind. Next factor which affects the currency rate fluctuation is balance of payment. Okay, balance of payment means inflow and outflow of currency between inflow and outflow of foreign exchange between the country and the rest of the world. If the balance of payment is healthy, a good balance of payment, then it will strengthen the currency. If the balance of uh, payment is adverse means our requirement is more, but supply is less, then this concept will weaken our own currency. Okay, it will create more demand for foreign currency. Consequently, it will weaken the own currency. So strong balance of payment or healthy balance of payment situation. Healthy means I'm talking about inflows are more. Weak means outflows are more. Healthy balance of payment will strengthen the currency, and poor balance of payment or adverse balance of payment will weaken the currency. That we have to remember. Okay. Fourth factor is intervention by central bank. So every country central bank, like Reserve Bank of India or country, wants that the exchange rate in international market should be stable with reference to our own currency. If it becomes stable, then people will feel comfortable to participate in international trade and commerce. If it's not comfortable, people will feel the market is highly risky. They may not participate in that market. So therefore, to keep the exchange rate stable, or to ensure that exchange rate moves within a comfort zone, the central bank intervenes. Okay, it creates artificial demand, artificial supply in such a way that exchange rate moves within a particular range which is comfortable, and or you can say exchange rate. A central bank tries to keep the exchange rate more or less stable. Okay, but then central bank, it's not expected that central bank should intervene too frequently. In that case, the real floating rate will become a dirty float. That means exchange rate will totally depends upon the central bank's intervention. It should not happen. But where intervention is required, central bank do intervene, and consequently that also affects the exchange rate. Okay, understood these 4 points. Fifth issue is our economic fundamentals that also affects exchange rate profits. There are some countries which are blessed with rich natural resources. Okay, they have a lot of minerals, lot of resources, etc. So naturally, always they have a kind of trade surplus. Their imports are less in comparison to export. People would like to make investment in that country. They attract a lot of foreign investment. Right? All these things lead to demand of their currency. Consequently, the value of their currency goes up. So economic fundamentals has got a lot of impact on the uh, exchange rate movements. That is one reason. One more reason you can say. The next factor which affects is political stability. When political situation changes, government's policies changes, government's priorities changes. Okay, then investors investors they can apprehend more risk in that kind of situation. Okay, maybe earlier a particular political scenario might be suitable a particular investor, but when this political party changes or government changes, that investor may not feel comfortable with that business because priority has changed. Okay, this uncertain political stability is related to uncertain economic environment, which indirectly affects the business. Okay, so if there is a political instability, or uh, you can say it kind of distort politics, then the country's foreign currency will definitely weaken. Okay, international investors would not like to invest money in that country, so that will affect the flow of or inflow of currency and flow of money to the country. So that will lead to depreciating the value of the currency. Seventh concept or seventh factor which affects the exchange rate is the interest rate parity. So you might have studied, or you'll be studying when you learning the concept in the subject international finance. There is a theory called as interest rate parity theory. Okay, few theories will be learning in plus and parity theory, interest rate parity theory, like this Fisher effect, like this certain theories you'll be learning. At that time, we'll be understanding the long run. interest rate in different countries are at par. Okay. But at this stage, if interest rate is not at par, then high interest rate in a country would lead to depreciation in that country's currency. Okay. If a country's interest rate is higher, when interest rate is higher, normally it is related to inflation rate also. If interest rate in my country is higher, borrowing is becoming very costly. In that case, what will happen? My currency rate will decrease. Okay, suppose interest rate in India it is 12%, interest rate in the US is 6%. Okay, in that context, if it moves in that direction, interest rate in India goes up, interest rate in US comes down, then value of Indian currency will go down and US will go up. So interest rate has got that kind of impact. Then one more theory is the inflation rate. Inflation is higher in one country than other country, the former country will tend to weaken in terms of its currency value. Right? If high inflation rate will lead to weakening of the currency. Okay, that is one more reason. If inflation rate is more, that means goods are more costly, then currency rate will go down. One more reason, last reason is that self-fulfilling prophecy. That means what you feel like, that means what you expect, currency rate move in that direction. How it is possible? Let us say if you feel that the prices of this particular value of this currency will go up, or let us say you talk in the terms of, let us say, equity market. So if you feel this share price will go up, then you may like to buy some of that shares. Is it not? When you are buying, you yourself is contributing to its price movement. You yourself bought it. You thought it will go up and you bought it. When you bought it, you are creating a demand. That means you yourself pushing your vehicle. For your own vehicle, why your thought is pushed by yourself. Is it not? Similarly, in the foreign exchange market also, if you feel that prices will go up, then you may acquire that share, acquire that currency. If you're acquiring, then you yourself creating a demand. So this is called a self-fulfilling prophecy. You are fulfilling your own desire. What you are expecting, you are supporting that. This is one more concept. Friends, we learned these 9 reasons which contributes towards movement of exchange rate. Hope it is clear to you. Yes or no?
Sir, yes, sir, I have a small doubt.
Yeah, please.
Sir, as we have said, in case of interest rate parity, suppose in case RBI has fixed interest rate of India, let's suppose higher than USA.
Okay, Vishwit, I think time will not permit. Try to complete your question. And
Yes,
after
sir,
that,
my question
you
is
have to rejoin. Yeah.